Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is time for another wonderful episode of the Bill
Bert
Pod.
Cast.
What's going on? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. I have not drank at all this year.
That's awesome. You know, one of my New Year's resolutions, I was not going to spill a glass of water on the carpet. I always put it on the floor. I get so mad at myself, and I got to do all this stuff. And January 2nd. January
2nd, really?
Knocked it right over. Because this is my new go-to is I'm just going to be drinking out of this, and I put the screw top on. I got the little kids, tips over, no problem.
Yeah.
And, you know, we don't have a big living room. We got a little living room TV area, so everybody's sort of on top of each other. So inevitably, you know, I don't have there's like, it's weird. There's like a table behind the fucking thing. It's just a pain in the ass. So I always put it on the floor and I spill it. Then my wife gets on me like, how many times, Bill? I keep telling you we have coasters and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't know. It's like I'm addicted to doing it. So that's how boring my life is right now, Bert.
No, everyone's is that boring right now. Mine's fucking monotonous. I have not left the house this year yet.
That's good. We actually went out and looked at a house that we both knew. Yeah, we're not going to fucking buy a house in the middle of a pandemic with no gigs on the road.
Houses I've been to.
So exactly. So I fucking we just went to go look at it just to fucking look at it. You know, get some ideas. Whatever. Just get out of the fucking house, right?
Yeah.
So we go there, and I wasn't really into it, but my wife loved the thing. But it was actually a cool thing to do in the afternoon because it was just us two real estate agents. Everybody had masks on. We were just checking it out. Oh yeah, wow, this is great. When was it made? I got to tell you this. Even if I had the money, even if I had gigs and shit, the second they go, this is a smart house, and they give me an iPad, and I have to click on an app to open my curtains, it's just like I am out of here.
Oh yeah. Because that's gonna age out in like 6 months, and you're gonna be like, God damn it, why do we? It's gonna be like having a VCR put into the wall. Yeah. Do you remember in college and you go into someone's room? He's like, and it's tiny as shit. He's like, take a look at that television into the wall, and you're like, yeah, but what's that huge protrusion away from that wall? It's like, oh, that's all the gear. All the gear's back there. I keep it in the closet. That's a real safe place to keep all my By the way, I lied. I have left the house. I went to the beach and to the mountains with the girls just to literally drive there, see the sunset, drive there and see the sunrise in the mountains and in the beach. But
we drove out to the beach and we just stayed away from people. There wasn't a lot of people out there, and we just this is my favorite time of year to go to the beach when it's cold as shit and everybody's got clothes on. So we went out there and you know, I mean, that's why I never got into golf or going to the beach. I mean, I'm look what I'm working with.
My favorite time to go to the beach when you wear a snow jacket there.
Yeah. No, I love it. You feel like an old sea captain. The waves are heavy today. High today, whatever the hell you'd say. But just been doing shit like that. But it's weird. Me and my wife are getting along great because I'm doing stuff like that. Because I was like, all right, let's do that. We'll go out and go get a burger or something. And our favorite burger joint was closed. So, but it was funny. She totally fell in love with the house. Women are hilarious.
Interesting.
Oh, and look at these drawers. They're this giant walk-in closet with 1 million drawers that were all like this deep. And I'm like, what can I put? I put like one sweater. What is this? Is just.
Dude, we looked
and then there's another thing that I hated. Was the master bedroom, the master baths were almost as big as all of the kids' rooms put together. So what are you telling your kids?
Yeah.
We are godlike. You aren't shit.
We looked at a house one time before we bought, and we ended up buying a house, and we're trying to redo it. But it's been forever. One of our workers just got tested positive for COVID, so everything's shut down for 2 weeks. And by the way, he wasn't even on our set, but he had crossed this from the construction company, one of their workers, technically, but we know the guy. He tested positive, so everything shut down for 2 weeks. It's a nightmare. Totally cool with it. But we went and looked at houses before that, and I have a fear of elevators. I have a fear of being stuck in elevators, and this was a house south of the boulevard, which means south of Ventura Boulevard for those of you listening. It's a little more expensive, and it was in the hills, and the house was built into the hill, and so you parked in the parking garage, and then you got in an elevator, and an elevator took you up to your house. And I was like, fuck this immediately.
That just means they shouldn't have put a house there.
Yeah. And I go,
those houses in the hills stink.
Oh.
They're all fucking jammed in, and then there's a guy above you and somebody over there, and you got to fucking, and there's always these weird, like, sort of ways to get up into the fucking house. And I always just feel like if you live up in the hills, you're sitting up there, all the fuck way up there, winding your way up there, and then you're like, fuck, I need butter. And you got to go all the way back down.
Fucking elevator, go all the way. There were some stairs that went up like this. And by the way, if you had said to me at 27, was this the house I want to live in? 100%. I'm fucking there. But I'm at 46. I'm looking at this house and I'm going, this isn't doable. And it was great. Had a great pool. But obviously there's a house above it, so that anytime it rains, all their garbage slides into your yard. And so I say to Leanne, I go, I can't get in an elevator every time I got something heavy. I'm going to get stuck in the elevator. I'll have a panic attack. She goes, honey, you're never going to get stuck in this elevator. Her words to God's ear, we hear ring, ring, ring. Isla's stuck in the elevator at an open house. They had to have LAPD come out, or LA Fire Department come out to get her out. It took forever. And the girls still wanted the house, but we never got it. I was like, fuck that. And then the house, I thought it was overpriced. And then it sold for that price.
I don't understand where people have money.
How do people make money? I'm fucking shocked anyone makes money. Like, how the fuck do they make money? I feel like I make ridiculous money, and I have no fucking money. Like, where the fuck do they make money?
Well, if you live in California, they take all of it. Dude, I will tell you this. We went and looked at this place, it was fucking ridiculous, right? We just looked at it knowing we weren't going to go. So let's just walk around this amazing house, right?
Give me hints of, like, where was it? Like, what you may buy it, but like is it Beverly Hills?
No intentions of buying it. It was east of LA. It was out that way. I always get confused. Once you get past Pasadena, I don't know what it is. So it was out that way.
I know what you're talking about. That's Steve Burns' old house.
Oh, is it? No, this thing was like some brand new thing they had just redone. It looked really cool, looked really clean or whatever. So, my wife wants to do it. So, yeah, let's go do it. So we go do it. And what killed me was, let's say even I was working. Let's say even if I had money.
Yeah.
It's like I'm going to be on the road until I'm 70 trying to pay this thing off. It's so stupid. All right. You're working to not work. You're not working to just still always be like I'm still back in the day when I first got my first New York apartment. I'd be sitting there going, how am I going to make this? I got to get more spots. And then you make it, and then you're still living that way. It's so fucking stupid. So what killed me was when we left, if you saw the people going in after us, because they weren't letting people go in together, the group of people that came in after us looked like they were all late 20s, early 30s. And I was looking at my agent going like, how the fuck did they have money to buy this fucking thing?
Bro.
And he's just like, he goes, dude, there's a lot of money out there. There is a lot. I said, where? Where is all of this fucking money? So I went back home, right? And I couldn't sleep that night because I smoked a stick. So I'm all fucking wired from the nicotine. Oh, yeah, I smoked too. All right, we're going to be honest in 2021. All right, I smoked back to back, baby. Bang, bang. Big giant root beer. It's my only vice right now, right? So I start just Zillowing houses and shit. So we just gone out to Malibu. And I was like, hey, let me see what the most expensive fucking house looks out there, but blah, blah, blah. Dude, there was like 3 houses that were 20 million, north of 20 million, and they all said sold. And I was like, who the fuck in the middle of a pandemic is like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop 40 million on a fucking house right next to the ocean with all of this global warming shit going on. Like, that's the kind of money I have.
Where do they make? I mean, that is mind-boggling to me. No, it's not mind-boggling. Like, I knew a pro athlete who lived in Malibu, and he and his wife had bought their house like I want to say like 2000, maybe 97, and they bought it for like $2 million in 97. It's worth $19 million now, right? That's the fucking brilliant move. I remember he sent me his address. You know, I Zillow it right away. And I'm like, what the fuck? And you're like, God, you're set for life. You're set for life. If you moved to LA in 97 with some money, had a development deal, you're set for life. You could have just upgraded.
No, but if you keep upgrading, then you go back to buying at the high end of the market. It's if you had the money to buy something that was high end and then stay in it, and then the bankers fuck with the economy and the dollar's not worth shit, so the price of the thing keeps going up. I don't know how the game's played. I don't want any part of that. We left the house and I just said, listen, I go, our house is better than that. It's fucking 1/8 the size of that. But I like it. It's cozy. It's a family. Like our house is really, like I said, you sit in the living room, we're like on top of each other, and it's fun. Everybody can reach and get the popcorn. I don't have to send a robot.
I told you the old
with
Brian
the snacks.
I told you the old Brian Regan story, right?
No.
Is some of the best advice I've ever gotten. I've gotten some great fucking advice from comedians. Brian Regan comes over to my house and we do a podcast, and he said, I love your house. I said, yeah, I think we've outgrown it. I said, we're looking for a new house. We want to get a big house. And he stops, not being funny. He stops and he goes, don't do it. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I don't know. This feels like a house a family lives in. And we're sitting in my backyard, right? And he goes, I got the big house. Had the family, got the big house. And all of a sudden, everyone's in their room. No one's seeing each other. Everyone's just separate. He goes, I don't know. I walk to your house, and it smells like a house. It sounds like a house. It feels like a house. And we walk in. And as we walk in, Isla comes running in. She's like, Mom, Georgia kicked me in the vagina. The dogs are barking. Brian Regan looks at me, and he goes, this is a fucking house.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's like, I actually did, because when they were done showing me the house, and dude, they had like this fucking like man cave thing built off the back of the house where it's just like, it was insane. It was fucking, if you just didn't give a shit about your family, it was the perfect fucking house, right? Yeah. And if you just sitting there going like, but then I just sat there going like, I am going to be on my 600-pound life if I live here, because this is like, I have my own Applebee's.
My own Applebee's.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? No, that's a bad example, Mike. My own, what's a good, like a sports bar chain?
Bennigan's, an own Bennigan's. Like, I got my own
Bennigan's, right? And it's just like, and then either that or I would be like on the road. So I was just like, I have to get out of here because this is not going to be good for my kids. So I walked from the man cave to the front of the living room. And dude, it took like a good, like, I don't know what it was, like 25 seconds, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Of just walking. Like, figure how far down the fucking block you would get. And I would just sitting there going like, see you laying in bed. Your wife's going to ask you for something when you're laying in bed late at night. Could you go get me a something? And then you just got to just start walking, right? All the fuck way down there, all the way over, and then all the way to the kitchen, and then all the way back. Or you can cut out the glass side of the fucking thing, cut through the pool area. I was like, this is like, the only thing that's missing in this house is Jack Nicholson limping through with an axe with frost in his fucking beard. I got like a panic attack when I was in there. I was like, this is the, like, I've seen people do that shit. It's the dumbest shit. You finally make it, and then you sentence yourself to be on the road for the rest of the year. You go out, you go buy some big, stupid ass glass house, fucking with all the stupid fixtures. And there's another thing too, I've noticed they all have the same flooring. They all use the same wood now. Now it's not that little shit, it's the big wide ones, which means that's gonna date it. So in 10 years, when they move on to the next flooring, now you have the old floors. And now your house doesn't look as updated. Like, do you remember those fucking garages everybody got like 15 years ago? The same garage door, that frosted window with the thing. Everybody had that, and you can just be like, okay, that house was redone in the early to mid 2000s. It like they, our fucking house, our kitchen, we had naughty pine in it. It was like blue countertops with naughty pine. Had to rip all of that out, only because the fucking thing never made sense. Like my sink, where my sink used to be, now it's like by the window, right?
Yeah.
My sink used to be like you stood there washing dishes and there was cupboards in front of your head. And I used to do a bit about it, going, since the beginning of time, the sink the window has always been right. The sink has always been underneath the window. It gave women something to dream about as they did the dishes, just looking out the window going, someday, maybe he'll let me walk to the end of the driveway. The joke was something like that. So we just sort of reconfigured all of that. And I just made sure I went with really neutral sort of stuff with it so it wouldn't get dated. But I have to tell you, dude, leaving that place and going back to my place, I was just like, this is fucking perfect. And I sat down in my little living room, perfect.